Well, Unity made some dumb decisions, and they walked back some of them. Specifically, what they walked back is they're not going to force the install fees on previously published games. So, a game like Genshin Impact, for example, they're not going to get charged anymore on those install fees. And that's really important. Because I saw this tweet, and I couldn't tell how real it was or if it was a joke, but I did see a tweet saying MiHoYo is hiring some engine developers. And all those posts are pretty freaking recent. So I'm not sure if they already had those posts or just reposting the job, but that's pretty telling that MiHoYo just immediately went, okay, I guess we need to find some engine developers. And immediately was looking for new engine developers.
Yep.
So that's a big deal. So Unity, I thought Unity also made contracts with those kinds of companies ahead of time and said, hey, you're not going to be a part of this. We're going to have a separate deal with you. You don't have to be under these terms.
You didn't think they would be that stupid.
I didn't think they'd be that stupid because
to not like give the big companies like Microsoft and MiHoYo who have these big games.
Yeah.
Lol.
I knew that they wouldn't do that with like a game like a Terraria. Like they're not going to do that. Unity's too up their own ass about that. But I thought that somebody would have the foresight to go, hey, you know, this is going to affect Genshin Impact. Genshin Impact is like a huge game. Do we think we want to piss them off and get them off our engine? I thought somebody would say, hey, let's just make a separate deal with them where they don't go under these terms.
Yeah, and what about Game Pass? like
obviously
Microsoft's not going to be very happy about that one.
So obviously, like, they're like, I would have thought they would have gone to like gone to MiHoYo separately and said, hey, by the way, in like 1 month we're gonna input some new terms. Just to be clear, you are not under those terms. Here's a separate contract for you. I thought that they would do that because that's what I would do. Because I don't want to piss off my biggest customers. If I'm going to be a jerk, okay, if I'm going to be an asshole, I'm going to cater to the big fish. The small fish, I don't give two shits about. But the big fish, I really care about. So I got to cater to them, which means I'm going to go to them, going to pick up the phone and call each one of them and say, okay, let's do a separate contract. Next one. Small fish, the small games, the indies, I'm not going to care about, which I know Unity doesn't care about. They're not going to care about them. And that's, if I was an asshole, that's what I would do. So that's why I was thinking, okay, well, Unity's being assholes. They're probably nope, not at all. And it surprised me because that is the dumbest thing I think I've ever seen with a company that actually makes this kind of decision. You would have thought you would have gone to your big fish and catered to your big fish. You go to your VIPs. You take care of them. I'm shocked that they didn't want to take care of the big VIPs. So, Unity, a popular cross-platform engine that powers titles like Hollow Knight and Pokemon Go. Yeah, Pokemon Go. You can bet your ass Pokemon had a conversation with Unity too and said, hey, come here. Come here. You really want to mess with us? You really want to mess with us?
Hey, big fucker. Can I call you big,
like,
big
hey,
fucker?
What are you doing? What are you doing?
Pokemon company is like, hey, Unity. Can I talk to you over here for a second?
You can bet Niantic, who develops Pokemon Go. They call Pokemon Company and go, hey, can you help us with something? What's going on? They're going to start charging us install fees on Unity. Pokemon Company immediately went, hold on. Hey, assholes. What are you doing? Do you really want to make us mad? It's just like this. It's such a bad idea. So, the actual fees aren't going away completely. That's not a full backtrack. It is only the previously published games is being really backtracked here from what I saw.
And anything that is like currently in development that like didn't agree to this previously before they started development.
Yeah. I saw, and then at the bottom it mentioned something else. Some of the first responses from devs were cautiously optimistic. I just want to stop right there. I every time I see something like this, I don't understand why people are like, oh, well, this is better. Thanks. Don't say thanks. They didn't consult you at all beforehand, and they almost tried to get this under the rug on you. They almost tried to get you. Why would you thank anybody? Why would you say anything nice? I would still get out. I would still change your engine. Because it shows what they're thinking about. It shows exactly how they act and how they think. Why would you do that? Why would you even be like, I'm happy? Like, they're just gonna do it. They're just gonna do something else. Like,
well, I mean,
they're just gonna do something else. There's
yeah,
no trust.
I agree. This was a complete breach of trust by Unity, and walking it back is the right response, but still not really good enough. Because, well, nothing would be good enough at this point, because, as you said, it was just a complete breach of trust doing this, like trying to pull this over in the first place. It's good they walked it back on the retroactive stuff. Again, to me, as we talked about, the retroactive thing, like, I don't see how that's legal. I bet you they got calls from some of their big fish, and they're like, "You really want to go to court over this? Because we're going to court over this. There's just no way."
Yeah,
like,
some of them definitely called them and said,
like,
"You're gonna fix this."
Do you want me to call my lawyer? You want me to call my lawyers? Because I'm going to call my lawyers.
The small companies leaving Unity, they probably didn't care. They expected that to happen. So this is just a big win too for the other engines that exist, particularly the small engines that are like, you know, like crowdfund kind of engines or grassroots game engines. They don't. Unity didn't care about them. They expected people to leave. What they cared about is, I'm 100% certain multiple big companies called them that are using the engine and said, "Okay, you don't want to do this because we will go after you. You really don't want to do this." And if multiple people are going to start suing you at the same time, I don't care who you are. Like, Unity's not a big enough company.
You're gonna get sued by Microsoft and Nintendo and Sony and MiHoYo, like all of them. Just all like, hey, you don't want to do this, dog. Like,
it's like, you don't want to do that. Like, which is why I'm still shocked that they didn't call those companies and make a separate deal ahead of time. So, I think this is a big win for Unreal Engine, for all the other engines that I saw get posted around after this. Huge win for all those people. Congratulations on basically having to do no marketing work to get customers. Like, what a dream.
Thank Unity for fucking themselves.
Like kind of a dream to do zero marketing effort and just get people to come to your engine. Like, that's the dream. So good job for you. Big wins for you guys. Unity, Big L, still stink.
Thank Unity for the classic bazooka to its own feet. Like,
I just like, they cut their own nose off to spite their face kind of mentality. Like,
no, I'm taking, like, you know, it's the shoot yourself in the foot, but like, no, they used a freaking bazooka.
They just used the rocket. Like... they just used the rocket. Like, I don't get it.
Yeah.
You just...
Classic Halo rocket launcher at your own feet for suicide.
Yeah.
Like,
I just don't get the... Makes it so much worse that the CEO and some of those people sold shares. It's like, CEO, instead of selling your shares, maybe you should have made phone calls. That's your job. Your job is actually to make phone calls and be presentable. It's literally all you do. So you did do your job. Your job is to call Nintendo, MiHoYo, Microsoft, and go, "Hey guys, just wanted to let you know this is going to go through. Don't worry, we're going to get you all in a separate contract."
Yeah.
That's your job. And he fucked that up. I don't know how they fucked it up.
Yeah, they
fucked it up.
I mean, it's the classic, just like, short-sighted corporate greed mentality, where it's just like, hey, here's a way where we can just fleece people and make a bunch more money. Are we gonna think about, like, the repercussions, or like what people are gonna think of us, or that, like, this is a complete breach of trust with anybody? Nope. We're gonna try to, you know, pull one over on people and make a quick buck in the short term, and we don't really care what happens in the long term. And guess what? You found out. You fucked around and found out.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't get it. Like I said, CEO, your job is to do these kinds of things where you have to put at ease your big customers. You just didn't do your job. I don't know. That guy's probably getting paid a shitload of money, and it's just like, they're not doing their job. If I'm on the board, I'm like, hey, You didn't even do your job. Why are we paying you millions?
Whoever made this decision, like, to actually go through with this, should be they should be fired, because Unity is gonna take such a huge hit for this.
They've already taken, they've taken the hit, and it's not gonna go away. It's not going away.
And the smaller indie devs or anyone who wants to make a new game, I don't see them wanting to use Unity anymore, because it's just
I wouldn't. There are other engines. It's not like Unity's the only player in the game. Other engines. It's not like I'm Madden, and I want to play Madden. I want to play an NFL football sim. Madden's the only player in the game, so I have to play that. Unity is not the only engine in the game. I can go to another engine. I just follow their terms. But other engines exist. You just got to learn them. And while it is a time process to learn a new engine, it's not as big of a hurdle, and likely not going to be as big of a hassle as dealing with this. Sometimes you just got to sweep it and redo it with something else. So anyway, I suppose it's half good that they walk back the changes, but I'm not giving them any credit.
Not unexpected for me. I was like, there's just no way they don't walk this back, right?
No, definitely. And I thought they would have at least made contracts with Big Fish ahead of time, but it doesn't seem like they did. So incompetence, you see it everywhere. So
I don't know if it's I don't know if it's straight incompetence or it's just greed. I think it's just
both.
It's core. Well, yeah, it's both.
It's both.
They didn't think about the repercussions, or either there was some stuff that said that internally there were people raising a lot of the issues that came up, and they the people at the top who were making the decisions, they just didn't care. They just went through with it anyways.
They don't listen to them. They're not. Why? You raise the concern. They're not going to listen to it. They've made their mind. They're not listening to you. If you're in a position where they're thinking of that change and you trying to convince them otherwise, they're already thinking about it. That tells you a lot. I don't know. You got some hope in the back pocket, but you're not changing that person's mind.
Yeah, again, they're just super. It's just super greedy. It's just a very greedy, short-sighted decision, right? It's just yeah.
Of course it is. The only people that would make the decision are greedy and incompetent. Anyway. Xbox, by the way, had a response for this. Good old Phil, I think, said something about this. Phil was like, if we have anything that we want to get you updated on, we'll get you updated on it. We're a little bit disappointed that some of these things are being leaked, is kind of what he said. But this got leaked. Court documents from Microsoft. The release schedule. Some of the numbers on the dates there are definitely off.
Yeah, this feels very old. This feels very old to me, because
Starfield says fiscal year 21. Obviously, that's not true.
Which, I know the fiscal years don't exactly coincide with the actual years, but they're not that far off.
They're not that far off. That's
they're maybe a quarter, off or something like that.
Like a quarter. Yeah, I think it's like a quarter.
So Starfield didn't even hit, even with the initial. The initial release date was last fall, so I guess it would have hit fiscal year 22 in that point. But I guess the initial had it. Initially, you wanted it fiscal year 21, and we didn't get it till fiscal year 23. So,
point is, through all this, that this title release schedule was leaked online, and obviously it keys us into a couple things. I want to key in on some very specific titles. Obviously, Elder Scrolls 6 is on here, but Oblivion Remaster. Fallout 3 Remaster. Now that says remaster. Just want to be clear. It says remaster. Not
remake.
Not remake. Starfield DLC. Obviously was on there. Indiana Jones game. Interesting. Dishonored 3. So there's a couple things on there that caught my attention. I see Redfall though. I see you, Redfall. I see you.
like my problem with this release schedule is like there's almost nothing on this that excites me. It's all just like very safe and like very boring. It's just like, oh, we're just remastering our old games.
This is the big.
Oh,
This is
Elder
their,
Scrolls 6,
Yeah, this is their big
Dishonored
schedule.
3.
I also can't tell if this is only like Bethesda titles. It's Bethesda's Xbox game release. It's Bethesda's Xbox game release.
Redfall
was Bethesda. Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was. It was ZeniMax Bethesda.
I guess this is all. Now that I'm looking at it, yeah, you might be right. I think this is all. This is all Bethesda.
So it's Bethesda's Xbox game release schedule. I guess I didn't key in on that, but the point is, I'm seeing a couple of remasters for games like Oblivion and Fallout 3, which, for fans of those games, those would be welcomed. I think fans would welcome those.
Yeah. Fine.
Indiana Jones game seems interesting. Just hearing about it. Or seeing it in here. I don't know what Project Platinum is, so I guess some kind of unnamed project. Dishonored 3, to be fair, also has a community around it, so that's a title that people are keep an eye on. And Elder Scrolls 6, I just laugh that Elder Scrolls 6 is even on here. Like, they just put it on here. It's not coming out in the next 2 years. That game is still I think they started. I think they said they like just kind of started development on it after Starfield. Yeah,
so,
that game is at least 3 to 4 years off, at least.
Yeah, I would say that seems about right,
given what they're gonna try and do with it. So, obviously, for you, it's probably not super exciting. For me, I see Oblivion and I smiled a little. I said, okay, I like Oblivion. That's a good one. It's a good one to do a little remaster on, depending on how they handle it. Fallout 3, I could care less about Fallout 3 though. Fallout 3 was I'll just stick with New Vegas or something like that. But anyway, yeah, this was leaked online, and I know Phil did respond. I know Phil said something along the lines of what I said earlier, which is like, it's unfortunate that this got leaked. If we have any updates regarding our schedule and games, we would tell you.
Yeah.
There's not much else to say though from him, so that's what he.
Again, there's like maybe you're excited. People are excited about like an Oblivion remaster, or Fallout 3 remaster if you're fans of that. But to me, this is a very just like safe meh schedule. I'm like, yeah, this is just like all sequels and like remasters. Basically, there's nothing like really big or exciting on this. Well, I guess there's a few like unnamed things. There's like the Indiana Jones game, which we don't know anything about that. There's like Project Kestrel and Project Platinum. We have no idea what those are.
We have no idea what they are. Yeah,
because that's just like a working title type thing. So.
Licensed IP game.
So those could be possibly exciting, but the rest of this again is just like, yeah, it's just more sequels and remasters. It's like which is it's expected. They're sequels and remasters to like popular series that like will do well basically. Like Dishonored, Elder Scrolls, Fallout, Ghostwire Tokyo, I guess. I don't know how well, and Doom as well. So
Definitely.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, I think it depends on what the Project Kestrel, Project Platinum is, Project whatever. It just depends on what they're supposed to be. Maybe they've already been named and we just we don't have a connection. Maybe they've already been announced. Who knows? But anyway, this was leaked, so obviously we brought it to the attention of the podcast here, and we'll see what ends up happening with the actual schedule for these games. But it was just interesting to see this online. And Phil all but confirmed that this document is I would say likely legitimate at that point.
Yeah, I mean the schedule itself is very off.
It's very off.
This is pretty old when you're talking about fiscal year 20 releases. So this is probably from like 2019 or something like that. So it's pretty old.
It is. But it's still,
and I'm sure a lot of the schedule got delayed because of the pandemic. Let's be quite honest.
Yep,
so
that's true. So anyway, other Xbox item we have is the Tokyo Game Show. Everything that was announced at Tokyo Game Show. Octopath 2 coming to Xbox. I saw that. Fallout 76, more stuff for that. That game is still getting updated. I don't know what the community is like for it, but I'm a little surprised. I'll be honest. Elder Scrolls Online. Coming to Japan. Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney trilogy coming to Game Pass.
Cool.
I don't know what this is. I saw it and I was like, okay, probably a little indie game there. Eiyuden Chronicle 100 Heroes coming to Game Pass, which I think you already knew that anyway, but
I had forgotten that, but yeah, okay.
Infinity Strash? I thought it was Slash. Infinity Strash, Dragon Quest, The Adventure of Dai? Like a Dragon Gaiden? Oh,
Yep.
okay. Let's see here. My Lovely Empress. Pal World. Oh god, I've heard of this game. This is the weird like Pokemon with guns game.
Game is such a meme.
It's such a meme. Party Animals. Persona 3 Reload and Persona 5 Tactica get some more trailers. Some trailers for those. PUBG. Snore. Wulong Fallen Dynasty DLC revealed. So, Spoon, I'll be honest with you, not a lot in here necessarily caught my attention.
No,
I mean,
it's actually same. Not much in this I care about.
In here,
I don't really need
catching
new
my
trailers for Persona 3 and Persona 5 Tactica because I know I'm gonna play those games, so I don't really need new trailers for them anymore. I'm like, yeah, I'm sold. I'm fine. It's fine. It's cool. Like I just don't care. Like
I don't think anything in there really caught my attention. Not because they're not cool to see, but just because not on my radar.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha. All right. I have nothing to say then. So we will.
Nor do I.
We will move then, since both of us are good.